Janaza of 29 launch victims held in Borguna, a natural death case filed over launch fire. Ekushe Padok winning journalist Riazuddin Ahmed passes away. Over 4,500 flights cancelled, thousands delayed amid Omicron concern. Assalamu alaikum. This is Nusrat Islam welcoming you all to Evening News. You have just heard the headlines. Now let's move on to the details. The namaz-e-janaza of 29 victims who died in the fire on Borguna-bound launch MV Obhijan 10 was held on the premises of Borguna Circuit House this morning. After the janaza around 11:30 a.m., the bodies were taken for burial at Potkakhali near the Circuit House and were laid to rest there. Earlier, the bodies reached Borguna General Hospital from Jhalokati under the supervision of Borguna District Administration around 11:30 p.m. last night. 5 of the bodies have been identified till this morning and 4 were handed over to family members. Early in the day, Borguna Civil Surgeon Dr. Maria Hassan told the media that the bodies were kept in the morgue for Borguna General Hospital last night and those will remain in the morgue for identification till 10 a.m. An unnatural death case was filed with the Jhalokati Shodor Police Station over the launch fire incident on Saturday. Jhalokati Shodor Police Officer in charge Khalilur Rahman said that village police member Jahangir Alam filed the case. At least 37 people were killed and over 100 injured as a launch carrying hundreds of passengers caught fire on Sugandha River at Gapkhan Dhanshiri area under Shodor Upojela in Jhalokati on early Friday. Most of the victims were burned to death, while a few others were killed as they jumped into the river in a desperate attempt to avoid the flame, rescuers and survivors said. The authorities have suspended the rescue operations for missing passengers today as the dark falls, but said they would resume the work tomorrow. The air was heavy with cries of wounded men, women and children at the surgery ward of Shere Bangla Medical College Hospital in Borishal this morning. Most of the injured passengers of MV Obhijan 10 were undergoing treatment in the hospital corridors due to the increased number of patients. A total of 72 passengers with burn injuries were admitted to the hospital. 2 of them were receiving treatment at the intensive care unit, while at least 10 were referred to Dhaka for better treatment. According to hospital sources, 18 patients were admitted to the surgery male unit, 20 to surgery female unit, and 8 to surgery children unit. Amid such a situation, a 15-member team from Sheikh Hasina National Institute of Burn and Plastic Surgery reached Borishal from Dhaka to provide advanced treatment.
5 জনের অবস্থা একটু বেশি গুরুতর সেই রোগীগুলোকে আমরা ইমিডিয়েটলি এখানে আইসিইউ সাপোর্ট আছে তাদেরকে ইমিডিয়েটলি ট্রিটমেন্ট দেওয়ার জন্য আমরা চেষ্টা চালিয়ে যাচ্ছি মুখমণ্ডল হাত এবং পায়ের তলা যে মেটালিক অবজেক্ট বা যে সারফেসগুলো থাকে জাহাজের এই সারফেসে যখন তারা দৌড়াদৌড়ি করেছে বা হাঁটা চলাফেরা করেছে ওই সময় তাদের এই অংশগুলো বেশি পড়েছে
The National Implementation Committee to celebrate the birth centenary of Father of the Nation, Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, has begged apology for the spelling error on the main stage dais, said Awami League leader Sheikh Fazlul Karim Salim today.
এটা যে ভুল হয়েছে সেটার ব্যাপারে আপনার নাসির সাহেব আপনার যিনি উদযাপনের প্রধান সমন্বয়কারী তিনি বলছেন এটার জন্য তিনি এটা ভুল হয়েছে এবং দুঃখ প্রকাশ করছেন সুতরাং যে যদি কোনো কিছুর ব্যাপারে যে ভুল এবং দুঃখ স্বীকার করে তার সেখানে তো আর কার্যকর আর কি ব্যবস্থা হবে
The government is trying to constitute an EC which will serve the purpose of the ruling Awami League, said BNP leader Rizvi Ahmed. Talking to the reporters, he further said the government is holding talks in order to form EC only to cheat the people.
আওয়ামী মার্কা নির্বাচন কমিশন হুদা মার্কা নির্বাচন কমিশন অথবা রকিব মার্কা নির্বাচন কমিশন করার জন্য একটা মানে বিভিন্ন রং চং দিয়ে প্রসাধনী দিয়ে প্রসাধন চর্চিত একটি সংলাপ। যে সরকার প্রতিদ্বন্দ্বীকে ভোট কেন্দ্রে আসতে দেন না, ভোটারদেরকে ভোট কেন্দ্রে আসতে দেন না, সেই সরকার নিরপেক্ষ নির্বাচন করবে, নির্দলীয় নির্বাচন করবে এবং নিরপেক্ষ নির্বাচন কমিশন গঠন করবে, এটা কি বিশ্বাস করা যায়?
Veteran journalist Riazuddin Ahmed passed away at the ICU of United Hospital in Dhaka at 1:30 p.m. today. He was 76. He was suffering from COVID-19, family sources said. Riazuddin, the former editor of the Financial Express and News Today, was admitted to the hospital on 16 December. He received the Ekushe Padok in 1993 for his contribution to journalism. Riazuddin was one of the key players in the movement for the rights of journalists in Bangladesh. He was also at the forefront of the anti-authoritarian movement. He was nominated as a member of the Bangladesh Press Council on 21st December this year. He was a four-time elected president of the Jatiyo Press Club. He had also served as the secretary of the Undivided Dhaka Union of Journalists, DUJ, and the president of the Bangladesh Federal Union of Journalists, BFUJ. At least 4 workers were burnt in a gas explosion at the Jomuna shipbreaking yard in Chattogram Sitakundu Upazila this morning. The injured Sohel Rana, Jahid, Mizan and Firoz are currently undergoing treatment at Chattogram Medical College and Hospital. Among the injured, Sohel's condition is critical, said a local police officer. The workers said there were no proper security measures at the shipbreaking yard where the gas explosion happened around 8:30 a.m. Back in April, 3 workers sustained burn injuries in a gas explosion at this shipyard, said the police officer. Holiday travel plans around the world continue to be disrupted with thousands of flights cancelled for the Christmas weekend as COVID infections surge. Airlines have blamed shortages of healthy staff for the cancellation of nearly 2,400 flights on Friday and more than 2,300 on Saturday. More than 800 of those cancelled on Saturday were to or from U.S. airports. In Europe, travel restrictions are among measures aimed at reducing cases, largely driven by the Omicron variant. Despite early findings that Omicron is milder than other variants, scientists are concerned by the sheer number of infections being recorded. Many of the flight cancellations are the result of airline crews testing positive or being forced to self-isolate to stem the spread. Pope Francis called for more solidarity with those living in poverty as he celebrated Mass in Rome in front of a massed congregation of around 2,000 people, while billions around the world again marked Christmas under the shadow of the coronavirus. An explosion in cases driven by the rise of the Omicron variant has meant a Christmas season tainted by the pandemic for a second year running, with Santa's arrival and longed-for family reunions overshadowed by the prospect of yet more COVID-19 restrictions. In St. Peter's Basilica, the 85-year-old Argentine pontiff urged the faithful to value the little things in life. About 2,000 members of the public and 200 religious figures attended the Christmas Eve Mass, wearing face masks and respecting social distancing as part of measures against the coronavirus. In Bethlehem's Manger Square, visitors in Santa hats and scouts beating drums marked Christmas Eve, but numbers were lower than usual as coronavirus fears overshadowed celebrations for a second straight year. Before ending, let's have a look on the headlines once again. Janaza of 29 launch victims held in Borguna, unnatural death case of Al-haj launch fire. Ekushe Padok winning journalist Riazuddin Ahmed passes away. Over 4,500 flights cancelled, thousands delayed amid Omicron concern. And that's all from the newsroom for now. To know updates, videos of this bulletin, visit our website www.ntvbd.com. Besides, visit our YouTube and verified Facebook page for updates of our NTV's our popular programs and bulletins. Our next bulletin, Shondar Khobor, will be aired in Bangla at 7:30 p.m. Thank you for being with us. Have a good time.